Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. How are we all doing on this beautiful Friday morning? We are getting closer and closer to Christmas. I am about as ready as I need to be. What's not done will wait until next year, I guess. I hope that you are all taking some time to enjoy the vibration and the energy of the Christmas season. Christmas season brings in a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions and a lot of different things. Yesterday was the winter equinox or solstice, sorry, the solstice, and I spent some glorious time just absorbing some of the energy and feeling into the magic. There's a lot of magic. I find the winter solstice a very, very, very magical time. Look at you all coming in. Good morning to everyone coming in. Thank you so much. Energy updates. I think a lot of what I have to say is very well known. With a lot of the energy that's coming in, um, is quite typical for this time of year. Many of you are processing a lot of things. Many of you are missing loved ones. Perhaps some of you have lost someone this year. So this may be the first Christmas without a loved one or a friend. And that energy is very mixed, right? Spirit does come close and closer and closer throughout the holiday season because they truly are not gone. And they're very clear with that with me every single time I channel and every single reading that I do. They're very, very clear that they are very much here. And to help you navigate through the season, if you have experienced loss or if you are grieving, um, do something a little special for them. I think I talked about this before. Set up, a place at the table for them, hang a special Christmas ornament for them. Bring them in closer and closer. They truly do celebrate the holidays with us, and they want us to know that and be aware of that. So energetically, what I did pick up when I was sitting with my guides in the forest yesterday, one thing I want to talk about is clarity. Many of you may be experiencing some big aha moments in the next couple of days, if you haven't already, with some clarity. Just this knowing about what you need to do or the direction that you need to go in. And with clarity, sometimes we will question it. And what Spirit talked to me a lot about is there's a lot of clarity coming in at many different levels for many, many, many of us. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be great big things that you're getting some clarity on. Um, the energy is going to be showing us a lot of things in the next couple days, showing us what really matters, showing us directions that we need to go in, showing us where we need to change. And we always have choice and free will. And Spirit was very clear with that is we can show you, and we can guide you, but it's up to you to pick it up. And that was a huge message this morning when I sat with my guides this morning was it's time to pick it up. We ask and we ask and we ask, and then we kind of go, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that," or we kind of struggle with the whole trust piece. And the trust piece is huge when it comes to being able to take those leaps of faith. For those of you who have been asking and have been growing, that clarity is coming in. Now, I'm curious to know on how many of you, just by a quick comment, anybody experiencing headaches that just kind of come and go on their own. Like all of a sudden I have a headache and all of a sudden it's gone. And also a little bit of thirst, some unusual thirst. Because, here we go. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, all day yesterday. Yeah, there we go. Um, Now, if anybody has medical stuff going on, please see your doctor. I'm not giving medical advice here, but energetically, there's a reason that some of you may be experiencing some of this is like, yeah, like tension headache. Yeah, exactly. It's either I'm really thirsty or not thirsty at all. Okay, here we go. The spiritual reason for this is there's a lot that we need to release right now, and especially with the clarity that's coming in. So those of you who are a little bit headachy and having this thirst piece, I want you to just ask yourself, has there been something I've been working on letting go? Because this whole release of energy that we're holding in our physical body is hollering at us, loud and clear. It's time to just, it is what it is. It's time to let it go. It's time to move forward from that. And sometimes, spirit showed it to me as like this clenching onto what no longer serves us. And even the small things, it doesn't have to be the great big things. It can be the small things. It's very easy to hold on to those little vibrations. And sometimes we're not even conscious that we're actually holding on to some stuff. So ask yourself, what needs to be let go? What don't I want to bring or carry into the new year with me, or even to the next day? Working on having a releasing practice. I release every day. I just have to. I have to release every day. It's a big part of my spiritual practice. But with the desire to let go, one thing that spirit was very clear on is we need to have some space in 2024. Um, and we need to make room for 2024. That can be physical room as well. It can be room, around your house. It can be like that cleansing, purging. But the energy that you're holding on to also needs to shift. And we need to let go and make some room for that. When we reflect on the year that we've just navigated through, when you reflect on 2023, it brought us a lot. It truly did. It showed us a lot. Many of us are in a completely different space energetically than what we were when we started 2023. There was a lot of healing. A lot of people navigated through a lot of healing, and that energy flowing out into the universe, and that energy flowing, we need to start kind of like having that cycle. And spirit showed it to me in the spiral symbol. Now the spiritual spiral, meaning it's a very positive symbol that brings us an energy, a flowing energy into the universe, and dissipating, or energy coming together and taking on a new form in your life. So when it comes to what we need to let go of and what we need to bring in, we've got to kind of get into that space of releasing and allowing just a little bit more. Spirit was like, crack open just a little bit more. Keep in a, sometimes spirit will use things that are very common things for me. When one of the things that I always say is, I've got to keep moving. I've got to keep my feet moving. I like the energy flowing. And spirit was very clear on, keep that momentum of that process of bringing in and letting go, bringing in and letting go, and making room for expansion. As we navigate closer and closer to the new year, expansion is going to be a big thing. There's going to be huge aha moments. There's going to be huge rise ups. There's going to be a lot of energy coming forward with, it's time to shift and do things differently. Now, I talked a lot about new traditions in previous videos, or lives, rather. Sorry. In previous lives, I've talked about this whole new tradition space. That's also going to come into play in your spiritual practices. If it's not working and it's not resonating, change it up and have some more fun with it. Allowing that growth, allowing that movement to kind of navigate and keep your spiritual feet moving. Keep your spiritual feet moving. And it helps us make room. It helps us to get clarity. It helps us to heal. It helps us not to sit in it. Because spirit has said that to me many a times. Why are you sitting in that? Is your butt sore yet? Is your butt sore from sitting in that energy? And and I say it, with a chuckle, because so often it's true, is we get on these cycles and we just sit in it, right? We don't allow it to move through us. We don't allow the emotion or the energy to be acknowledged. We just kind of sit in it. So as the days go by, as the next week or two go by, just kind of tap into, what do I need to, what needs to move on? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to make room for? And just start giving some thought on, what do I want to experience next? Right? What do I want to experience? And that is a huge question, right? Is what do I want to experience? And experience comes with a lot of learning, and learning comes with a lot of growth momentum. And that's what we're here to do. Right? Even the hard stuff, yeah, the physical world, this classroom has some hard learning, but move with it now. It's time to really get moving with it. And it has a lot of excitement when I feel into that energy. There's a lot of excitement with learning and growing and letting go. When I was out in the forest yesterday, I was very simple. I didn't overcomplicate my ritual. I just laid flat on the floor of the earth, and I just let the earth hold me and allow that embrace. And I also allowed the earth to take what I didn't need. I brought some seeds and some fruit as an offering to the earth and to the critters, and I just allowed energy to flow and tap in through me. And and some of it I didn't even necessarily try and label. We try to label everything. Oh, I'm feeling this way. It's because of that. I'm feeling this way. It's because of that. I just simply laid there and allowed whatever needed to move through to just kind of move through and out and to give it back lovingly to the earth. Very grateful for the lessons is the other thing that I put out there to the universe yesterday. I'm so grateful for the good, the bad, the ugly, the glorious, the fun. I'm grateful for all the learning, and I really just allowed myself to have that moment staring up at the sky flat on my back, and just felt it. I just felt it. And then I started to feel that love from the universe, that love from spirit, that love from Mother Earth, and how accepting that space is. Acceptance is another piece that's coming in a huge movement through you. Acceptance, right? It's that whole, it is what it is. I did my best. I gave it a go. I tried that, right? I tried that. And some things work out and some things don't. And when things don't work out, I know what I want and I know what I don't want. And it's that whole acceptance piece that really helped with that allowing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna scroll back up, and I try not to look at the comments as they come up too often because I find it a little bit distracting as I channel. So I am gonna scroll up here, see where we need to go. Oh, there's quite a few of you on. Uh Hi from the UK. Oh, I love that. Look at all you guys coming in. Merry Christmas to you all. I'm traveling tomorrow. Please send me positive energy for my flight. Kayla, absolutely. Kayla, and I want to tap into what I do when I travel. And if this resonates with you, Kayla, give it a go. But what I do before I travel is I send out angel runners, angels and guides that love to clear traffic, to clear weather, to allow safety. I also visualize either the vehicle that I'm in, so the vehicle or the plane that you're in. I surround that full of white light, and I know, and I send gratitude to the pilot and the staff that are working, and I lean into feeling that safety. I do it with my vehicle. I've talked about this before. I often spray my vehicle with either moon water or a clearing spray that I use quite often just for protection. I ask for it. I ask for guidance, and I ask to be held in that white light. So for any of you traveling, whether you're traveling across town or whether you're getting on a plane, surround yourself from white light. PJ, curious, can spirit tell you what my first incarnation was? Um, PJ, it's interesting that you bring that up, and I will tell you why it's interesting near the end of the segment because I am going to make an announcement that's quite interesting. PJ, I don't necessarily know just by tapping in energetically what your first incarnation is exactly, but what I do feel when I tap into the energy about that first incarnation is I feel very much warrior. I feel like I'm on, I have a big purpose of battle. I feel like there's a big vibration there, but I also feel almost like rescuing as well, like rescuing and saving people. But there's just this huge warrior energy there. That's where we need to go. Joe Smith, my first Christmas without my hubby. Oh, Joe, um, big love and hugs to you. One thing tapping in there, Joe, and it is hard. It is hard when we have someone, and and here, here's what I just heard. It's my first Christmas in heaven too. So I hear that kind of chuckle back with a little bit of humor there. So I think your husband's got a little bit of humor as when he was here in the physical world. I think he always answered back in kind of a funny way. Um, Joel, as hard as it is to have that non-physical contact with him, um, shift into a new tradition with him there. from spirit, and allow yourself to have that connection there and feel. Be open to feel. When we kind of open up with, I know that you're there, here's the place for you at the table, or we're going to put your hat or your jacket on a chair. It really helps us to connect. Quite often with people, they just simply don't know how to feel into that energy, and when we kind of put something out that we physically connect them with, it helps us tap into that energy. I can also feel his arm around your waist, especially in the kitchen. When you're prepping food or doing cleanup, I can feel that arm. It's literally wrapped around your waist. So just kind of lean in there a little bit, Joe. And the other thing, Joe, is you know, allow yourself to feel is the other thing. Grief, is the vibration of love, and allow yourself to feel that as well, right? Just allow yourself to be supported, allow yourself to, to have your emotions, and also lean into feeling them. Spring Hall, I had happy news yesterday. It was a day of celebrating. I am so happy for you. Happy news is a great thing. Um, Wendy, does Spirit have any messages for me today? Um, Wendy, I keep getting like this pushing feeling. I have to let you know that you're being pushed. You're being pushed forward, and I feel that, and I get it. Nobody likes to be pushed around, but I feel spirit is trying to really push you forward. So whatever you've been working on, it's time to start taking a step, even if it's a teeny tiny one. Spirit's like, now is a good time. Now is a good time. It's just that loving push from spirit to start taking a few more, even if it's tiny, tiny steps. That can be what resonates with you, whether it be your spiritual growth or a little bit of change or something that you've been thinking about. Spirit's like, there's a little push there. Haha. Okay. So we need to go here. Today is 12/22/23. Isn't that an interesting day? It's a very interesting day. Very interesting. Lot of energy with that too. I just saw your video yesterday about earth angels, and a lot of it resonated. I wasn't expecting. Would an earth angel necessarily know they are one? Good question. Good question. Um, no. Quite often earth angels don't know. So when earth angels, um they're sent here, on missions, if you will. Part of their soul contract, is to hold the vibration of peace and love and kindness. They're also big teachers. Earth angels are huge teachers. They also, are very compassionate about, or like very deeply with what's right and what's love. They're very clear on that. Now, a lot of earth angels do know, that they are here for, a bigger purpose. They do often feel that deep passion, to help shift. Earth angels also struggle with the physical world not making sense to them, and that's a huge one for earth angels. It simply doesn't make sense, like completely just it doesn't, like, they just don't, it doesn't make sense. They can't grasp, a lot of concepts that are happening here in the physical world, because to them it's so easy for love and light and helping. They just have this natural compassion that is just so elevated. It's profound. um there we go. Aaron, no, a lot of them don't. There we go. Cheyenne answered that too. Uh, I love date patterns. Spring Hall, hit that like, guys. Bless your hearts. Yeah, okay. A lot of the headaches and a lot of the tension. Um, Quite often too, and I just want to add, our physical bodies do like to cleanse and purge out, which is why, drinking a lot of water is so important, and that is also why charging your physical body is also so important as well. The physical body likes to let go, right? And when you think about, the systems, like our blood is always cleansing itself, our elimination system, our nervous system, it's always moving. So the energy that we hold on to in our physical bodies wants to move as well, which is why we get a lot of unexplained tension or stiffness, or even unexplained pain can be linked to the energy that we're holding in our body. So make sure that you guys are doing, a little bit of cleanses here. A cleanse is very simple. I usually put I have a label maker, and I will often put a word, on a water bottle, and with the intention of cleansing. Drinking lots of water with the word love or peace, or whatever it is that you want to add. I am enough quite often is one that I will put, because I will often, things that you struggle with, kind of label your water bottle with that energy to give you a bit of a cleanse. And for me, and I'll be brutally honest. Sometimes I do struggle with, am I doing enough? Right? Am I doing enough? Am I helping enough? Am I doing enough? Right? So I when I feel that, I'm holding on to that energy, and I'll label the bottom of my water bottle or right across the top, to just kind of cleanse and release that. I'm going to cleanse that. I hope that works there for you guys. Uh, my hubby came to me in a dream and said, "You're not not paying attention." Um, Joe, Spirit says that all the time, which is why they turn up the volume on our signs that we get. Um, and a big part of it is we are living in two different dimensions, so they feel very differently, and we do overthink things. But what if he's saying, start paying attention, just be more aware, and talking to them and acknowledging them. I feel you. I know you're here. That also helps with that attention. um I even asked my doctor, but I was fine. Energy is energy. We don't pay enough attention to energy and how it affects us. Definitely have been feeling clarity. There we go. Feeling I need to travel more the next year. Maybe take a major leap of faith. Used to be so good at those. Um, I'm also taking a big leap of faith with travel. There is something posted right now. I will put it on the YouTube page as well. But there's some travel coming for the Hawk and I. I do have an event in Mexico and some other events that are coming up. I'm being really pushed to travel as well, for a few reasons. Speak of releasing. Yesterday was such a powerful day. Obviously, it was winter solstice, but also I decided to thunder randomly last night. I love that. Love that so much. Once I look away from screens and focus on how I feel, the headache goes away. A little too much screen time there, I Peyton. I guess I've been doing much better at releasing. Good for you, Spring Hall. So, Nate, I got some amazing news regarding South Korea. I was wondering if my spirit guides had anything to say with that. Much love. I really feel I'm just going to wet my whistle here before I answer that. I really feel that trust and allowing Sone is going to be huge there for you. And I think I've answered this before. I think you've asked me a question about South Korea, and it felt good to me then. It still feels really good to me now. Um, I feel like when you kind of like, okay, so when you stand, I feel like I'm standing on a lily pad. It's kind of how, I know it sounds really weird, but I feel like I'm standing on a lily pad, and I feel like there's like a tray of lily pads, and I feel such a desire to jump onto the next one. And then when you jump on something that's in the water and you kind of whoa whoa, and then it stables out. I feel like you've got a lot of leaps that are coming, and it's gonna have that feeling sometimes of that wobble. And it's funny how they're showing that to me. And it's like, oh, got my balance. Okay. And as soon as I get to my balance, it's like, oh, I gotta jump again. As soon as I get my balance, there's a lot of that coming, and it's very exciting, and it has a very big playful energy with it, but it also has that get used to get used to leaping and getting used to feeling that, whoa, where am I? What am I doing now? And that has a lot of fun in it too. But sometimes when things get a little unsturdy, what we do is we back off in fear. Right. So I just have to remind you that when things, oh, I have to hit the skip ads button. Hold on, you guys. Okay. When you have that wobble, just trust your legs. Just trust that you're going to catch that balance. And if that resonates to anybody else, please pick that up as well. I feel like that's for more than one person. I came to see as lighting and thunder indicating a breakthrough moment. And that I had. I indeed let go through dancing in a way I haven't in a long time due to fear and insecurity. I love that, Cheyenne, and I love that you're making it your own, your own way of letting go. That is so important for your own spirituality and your own spiritual growth. It's got to resonate with you, right? For me, I mean, I love to move my body and dance. I'm not great at it, but I also love the forest and chanting. I love to chant and I love to drum. So from what and that is a big powerful thing for me. And I love, Cheyenne, that you've made that your own. But I did it last night. Good for you. God, it was so emotional. Releasing is so emotional. It is. It's very emotional. Let go. Right? It's very emotional, and the emotions have a lot of different levels to them as well. The emotion of letting go and healing, um, is huge, right? It's huge, but it also has, though, the emotion of excitement and space as well. I think mine is something I need to talk about. I think mine is something I need to talk about with my therapist. Good for you, Katie, for leaning in there on healing and for help and guidance. Good for you. Wendy, I had a test done for poor circulation and or blood clots on Wednesday and was sent to a specialist. Is everything going to be okay? And is there a problem? Wendy, number one, I feel you in really good hands. So whatever specialist that you're in, I feel like I've got all eyes on you. Like I truly feel like this is being looked at in the way that it needs to. That being said, Wendy, I had to drop my shoulders. It was a lot of relief. I feel this is going to be okay. Always follow I know you know this, Wendy, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Follow the instructions with the physician. Do whatever they're asking you to do. But I feel like this is going to be okay. I just feel so soft. I feel like a soft landing. That's kind of how I feel. I just felt like your tension's probably way up here, and fair enough. You have reason to be. It's scary, but I just had to literally. I just felt so soft and wrapped in healing. I just had that green energy, that blanket wrapped around me of healing. I really feel this is going to be okay. Um, and I also feel a need to hug you, Wendy. So just know that I'm embracing you energetically, please. Um, so this is Cheyenne. I also got a funny little question. One of my cats always decided to come up on my lap the moment I want to get up and do something. Can you ask her why? When I lean in there, Cheyenne, I feel like I need another moment or two to listen. I just feel like I've got to slow it down just a little bit. As I feel like there's a new download coming there, and I feel like this new download's been trying to poke its head through, for a little bit. So I'm not quite sure if the cat's been doing this for a little bit, but I feel like you're being asked to just slow it down just a little bit more. Just take an extra 5 minutes. Just take that moment. Animals are very, 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 very intuitive. They know what we need. And I really feel, and yes, the cat does get some pleasure, but I feel like you're just being asked to just pause a little bit longer. I also feel, Cheyenne, that there's something I can see. I'm holding well, you can't really see it, but I'm holding an imaginary pen or a pen from the spirit dimensions. And I feel like if you can just put a journal where you're sitting with the cat and just kind of do a little bit of automatic writing, I think that information will flow through you, um big time. It's big time for me. Sonia, I would also love to hear a spirit animal message today from your book. All right, I can do that for you. What does Sonia need to know? Flamingo. Avoid loud, noisy events and any chaotic or frenzied situations. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself as you check in and see if you're following your inner truth. Significantly increase the amount of vegetables in your diet that contain beta carotene, such as carrots, broccoli, and spinach. Before taking action on the question before you, balance the information you're getting, psychically, intuitively, by thinking it through carefully and logically. You've been isolating yourself too long, so it's now time to seek out the company and companionship of others. Here we go. Um, Alina at Peyton, I I feel that I have realized I pick up way too much energy from what's going on my screen. Screen time does have an energy. I am very, very careful with the screen time, and I've talked about this before. I also am very careful on what I look up on social media or what I'm reading. People always say to me, "Didn't you see my post? Did you like it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't check. I don't check. I don't scroll. I work on a computer enough that I don't want to be on it in any additional time. So just kind of put that back into balance a little bit, Peyton, if you can. Um, I also would smudge your computer. I like to blast just about everything that I work on, with protecting and and not just necessarily from anything negative, but just energetically. It's very tiring to be sitting still looking at a screen. And really we're not built for the amount of screen time that we get. We're not built for it, right? Our eyes aren't built for it. We're not meant to sit still that long. So get yourself moving a little bit and just kind of see if you can disconnect a little bit from some screen time. Um, I'm very cautious with that. And I also take advantage for example, this holiday season, you will see very little of me on social media. Very little. I need a break. So, tap into when you need a break. Okay. Uh, Kayla, I don't even recognize who I was in 2023. There's lots of growth and good for you. I've come to understand the relationship between emotions, spirituality, and movement a lot better. If you always stay still, you don't move and stay stiff. Nothing flows. Absolutely. And emotions and how we feel are big indicators on where the work needs to be done too. That is one thing. If I'm feeling something, let's just say I'm feeling the emotion of anger, feeling angry, right? Ticked off. Why? Why am I ticked off? Why is something bothering me? What's out of alignment there? Oh, I'm holding on to that situation. Whether I need to add forgiveness, whether I need, whatever it is that I need to add to move through that. But we need to allow the emotions to flow. When we hold on to things, that's when things get very difficult energetically for us. When we hold on to things, we're meant to acknowledge and feel and work through. I always look for the learning is the other thing. I try really hard, even when it's hard, even when it's hard to try. I will look at what am I learning here? What am I learning? Oh, I'm learning how to be patient. Oh, I'm learning how to move through anger. Oh, I'm learning how to forgive. Oh, I'm learning the importance of peace in my life, right? I always pause and ask that. Right, and I try really hard to remember that because sometimes when we're in the heat of the emotion, it's kind of hard to remember to say, why am I learning this? Oh, this is what I'm learning. All right, hope that helps you guys. Oh, Rise and Phoenix, any tips for forgiving the mistakes of someone who passed, and the fixing that relationship? Beautiful question. Beautiful question. One thing that with forgiveness is it's very freeing for us for the for at any level, whether it's someone that has passed that we want to forgive or someone that is living that we want to forgive, or whether it be ourselves, that we know that self-forgiveness piece, that forgiveness piece is a release, and it's more for you than it is for the person that may have been hurtful, or the relationship may have not have been great. um the other piece with that is it does help heal the lessons and the learning when we forgive. That person was learning that. When it comes to, and I can speak to this very openly because I experienced it in my own death experience when I've passed. I experienced it twice. The whole life review. So, we do have to sit in observation and feel the things that we did great on our journey and the things that we didn't do great. And that soul's experience will have to do some work on in the spirit dimensions, and may have to come back down for another experience, with that whole learning and karmic um, space. And that's not for me to judge, and that's not for me to sort out. That's for that soul and spirit dimension to do their own learning, and to sift and sort that, and spirit will take care of that. It's kind of how they will go through their own healing with that. I try to soften that a little bit because it is really hard, and depending on what happened, some things are very, very hard to heal and very, very hard to forgive, right? Like there's a lot of layers to that. When it comes to Horizon Phoenix, you've mentioned fixing the relationship. You can have conversations with people who have passed. You can tell them how you feel. You can, whether and whatever resonates with you, you can do it clearly by speaking, or you can, invite them to sit with you. I like to sit with a candle because I'm very much fire oriented. I love fire, the fire element. And I have that discussion on how I felt, and I feel into their energy, and sometimes I hear the response. Sometimes I can hear their aha moment. I didn't realize how much that hurt you. Right. But continuing to have the conversations, some conversations with some individuals in the physical world, we struggle to have. Either we can't speak it or they're not willing to hear it. So continuing to work through that healing is extremely therapeutic. Um, and it also helps that soul contract that you have with people. The other thing is some things, and I just want to say this very loud and clear, not everything is written out in the soul contract. Not everything is soul contract related. So, if I have to let go and I have to heal and move past, not only is it for my highest good, but it's also for the highest good of the person that's up there that is dealing with their own learning and their own healing. Because when we go up, there's a whole other classroom or two or three or 20,000 that we do have to go and sit in and do that learning and that growth before we reincarnate back here into the physical world. All right. I've been wearing spiral earrings lately. Lovely. Good morning, Lana. I resonate very strongly with this message. The spirit have a message for me today. Um, Jessica, it was instant for me. You've got to do something really special for yourself, even if it's something as glorious as treating yourself to your favorite Christmas cookie. I feel like you need to gift yourself something. I also feel that gift is some time. And I get it. This time of year is busy for many of us, but I really feel like I've got to give you. You need to give yourself a gift. You need to gift yourself something, and whatever that gift that you feel that you need or want, I feel like I've got to gift that to you. I hope that works or feels right there for you. Peyton, I've been more open with my spirituality and have found like-minded people in unexpected places. 100%. I'm really feeling a sense of community. That whole community space is huge, Peyton. It can be a very lonely journey spiritually. When we don't share or we're not open. And one thing that I've learned, Peyton, and I've talked about this before, and I probably talked about it in the mentoring groups as well, is I spent a lot of time, way too much time. It was part of my learning, but I spent way too much time caring what other people thought. I spent way too much time worried about being labeled as crazy. I spent way too much time feeling isolated and alone in my spirituality. And it took a lot of learning and a lot of acceptance and a lot of personal growth to crack that wide open. Um, and I'm very much okay if people don't resonate with me. That's the other thing that comes in there is it's okay. It's okay that people don't resonate with you or your mindset or your spirituality. It's okay, right? It truly is okay. And I think for me, Peyton, I'll agree. It's a huge release and feeling of that love and acceptance and that sense of community. So well done, you. You've done amazing this year, Miss Peyton. Um, A lot of questions here today. I'm gonna try to get to as many. I gotta start watching the clock a little bit here. Okay. With all the purging and movement I've been doing, I've had a lot of rewards coming into Spring Hall. That's the making of space. That's the making of space, right? When we make space for something new, just think about that for a moment. Think about it energetically or with physical items. Let's use the room analogy. If you have a room that's full of stuff from floor to ceiling, and you buy something new and there's no room to put it in, it becomes too tight, and that happens energetically with us too if we don't make room, with letting things go. Or I've learned that time to move on. Eventually that energetic space becomes too packed, and it becomes very difficult to kind of move, and we start to feel that stiffness. We start to feel that I got no room. Like I feel tight in my body. I've got no room, right? So well done. Lilith, it's my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to you, beautiful. Uh, Jammers, pets have more pure love than people, I think. Tamara's energetically, animals have a deeper unconditional love. Animals have a softer vibration. Animals, thrive best in love and in peace and in an energy of just love. They just want to be loved, right? I have worked a lot with animals that have required a lot of healing work too. Their soul feels, right? So I have done a lot of healing work with animals. I um i love my time with animals. It just, if they fill my heart, they're my biggest teachers as well. I have learned so much the last couple of years working with animals and animal communication, and helping them through their healing journeys as well, and they've helped me through mine. When you think about those of you who have pets, how do you feel when you're petting your fur baby? How do you feel? Right? How do you it just, it softens you energetically. They don't have a complicated desire, right? They don't want big things. They don't overcomplicate things. They're happy with the basics. Food, water, and love, right? Comfy spot to sleep. There's a lot to learn from that, right? There's a lot to learn from that. They don't have big desires. Right? All right. Wes, I may use that imagery to give myself comfort. Oh, Wes, good for you for helping out. I missed the comment there, but Lana, you helped me reopen my space. I was stuck in a suffocating spot until I started working with you in November. So much has changed for me, and I can see the movement now. I can actually breathe. I love that so much for you. I just want to remind you, Spring, um, you did all the work. You did all the work. I may have supported or given you something to think about. I may have opened the door, but you did the work, my friend. Right? And I think that's so important. People are on their own experiences and their own learning paths, and that's one thing that I've learned is just open the door for people. Right? They will decide and make it their own, and they will grow, and we all journey together. Is the other thing that's so important. Um, I always ask myself, to keep in mind the things and the support that I needed over the years, right? I want to be what I needed, right? I want to be. That's kind of the energy that I want to put out. But Spring Hall, you did all the work, darling. Uh, I never make a morning live since it's so early here in California, but always watch when I wake up. I wish you all a very happy holiday season, that you find the truest joy in 2020 and 24. Amy, Christmas blessings to you. Us people just overthink it all. Yeah, we do. We overdo. We do overthink. And Lana, I said I feel like I'm in a spiritual blanket poncho. Oh, I love that, Wes. Tammy, there's so many reasons why we overthink, but the biggest thing that we overthink, the biggest reason why we overthink, and I kind of chuckle at it, is we are so afraid to make a mistake. We're so afraid of a wrong decision. We get into a resistance with that. And nobody wants to take the hard road or learn the lessons, but it's what we're here to do sometimes. So, just tapping into that intuitive space, taking the lessons, and spirit will navigate through that. And I don't know how many times over the years I've said, why? What did I do? Like, why am I going through this? And spirit has been very clear with me. My guides have been very clear with me every time. There's learning in this, and we'll walk through it with you, but you've got to learn. Right? It's okay. All right. And here we go. Right? But we overthink and overthink because of that fear. Right? We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want this and we don't want that. And the thing that's the most difficult, I think, is just oh, now I can't talk. What's difficult is allowing, right? That's huge. We struggle with just allowing. The power of now is also really hard for many of us. We want to know what's coming down the road, what's coming down the pipe. We struggle with the power of now, right? I also think that past experiences also tie into that. Right? I remember when that happened. I remember when that happened, right? Fear causes us to struggle with a lot of different things, and love is one of them, right? We're afraid to love, right? Okay. A few things. I have a little Christmas present for those who are able to attend. I am going to be posting a Zoom link on the community channel. I know the timing may not work for all of you, but I'm hoping that some of you can join. Um, I'm going to do a past life regression on Zoom, Christmas Eve morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I will put the details on the community page. Okay. So the Zoom link that I have, the first 100 people will be able to sign into the class. After the past life regression, I'm also going to stay on and do an ask the medium session. So you can bring a question. It can be about the past life regression or anything that you want to ask me. That will be my Christmas gift to all of you for your love and support. And I'll post, like I said, I'll post the details on the Hawk and I community page on the YouTube channel. Okay. Um, I love you all so much, and the support that I've received on this channel and the community that is being built. I'm very, very, very grateful for each and every one of you, whether you catch the lives or the replays or just the thumbs up or just following the channel. You have been huge cheerleaders for me. We talked a bit in the chat. People have commented they're very different people today than they were a year ago. um, I'm extremely different today than I was a couple years ago, and you have all been a part of that growth for me, right? One of the hardest things for me was getting on here on the YouTube and showing up and saying, here I am, this is me, right? This is me. So I thank you for that. You've held me in love, you've held me in support, you've held me in unconditional um energy, right? Even when I struggle, you love me through it. So the details will be posted on that. And I'm going to try and do another one later on, maybe closer to New Year's. I don't know what my personal life schedule is going to be, but for those of you who can't make the Christmas Eve day one, I will try to do another one. I'm then going to be taking a break. I need a break. So I will be off from Christmas Eve day. So after our session, from Christmas Eve day throughout the holidays, I need a break. My voice needs a break. I need a break. I need to rest and honor myself. So there will not be any lives throughout the holiday. Um, I'll be posting on the Facebook page and Instagram, but I will not be showing up. I really need a break, and I am so okay to say that, and I'm so okay to honor that for a few reasons. Number one, my lessons and my learning in life, I've got to go first too, right? So that, and I think that taking a break and recharging, Spirit is going to be giving me some new stuff to talk about and some new ideas as well. So I will post that for all of you that can join as a little something, a little thank you, a little piece of gratitude. Let us tap into what we need to know. So, oh, we got that thing on YouTube that says skip or ads. Here we go. Okay, so let's do the animal communication book. So let's set an intention on what we all need to hear. I just need to wet my whistle again. The beginning of the book, it's blank. There's nothing for us today, guys. Sorry. Sorry. A little bit of humor there from Spirit. Cardinal. Wow. So wow, I just got goosebumps like right up my spine. So the cardinal is also very, very symbolic to people, our loved ones who have passed. Um so yeah, that's pretty awesome that we got this today on the last live over the holidays. All right, so spiritual message from the cardinal. Someone needs your compassionate and loving attention and has flagged you down to get it. Stop right where you are. Observe your surroundings. Then notice any sensations in your body. This is a very creative time, one where it's best to heed your intuitive guidance as to how to express this creativity. Add color to your life in your home environment, your yard, and in your choices of clothing. This is a good time to explore religion you grew up in. That can also be spirituality, with eyes and heart open for a fresh look. That's beautiful. Take what resonates, right? Take what resonates. Let's do a number. Let's see what we need here. 427. The angels congratulate you for keeping the faith as you're on the right path. I love that. I love that. I want to do another one. I don't know why I can't put the book down yet. I want to do another angel number. 612. Stay positive about the situation, as your optimism and faith will create a better outcome. And you know what? I still can't put it down. I don't know why. This is weird. I never do 3 angel numbers. I still can't put the book down, so we got to do one more. 310. This is a strong message from the spirit world, asking you to keep your thoughts high, bright, and positive. God and the ascended masters will help you lift your thoughts heavenward if you'll ask for their help with this. I love that. And like all things, it's whatever word, or you can shift the word God to whatever resonates to you, whether it be source energy, Buddha, whatever, what Mother Mary, whatever that word means to you. I think it's important to acknowledge that. And now I can put it down. Isn't that something? All right. Okay. Oh, my word, my jaw just dropped. That was for me. Hope everyone has a wonderful and blessed Christmas. Love you all. Goosebumps again. Yeah. Those goosebumps went right through me. Tamers, I love how she's written this. Tamers, Spring Holland, everyone. You are all amazing just as you are. You are just as you should be. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know, always show up as you are. And absolutely Tammy is right. You are as you should be. Love that so much. So much. This group is just so loving and so kind and so supportive. I'm very grateful. I will see you all Christmas Eve morning. Again, I will post the details on the community page. I hope that you're able to join. As always, love, light, blessings. And of course, have a spirit guided Christmas. Take care, you guys.